Deb. Hey, thanks, folks, for joining in and checking us out here on Channel 26 in Milpitas. You can catch us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30. Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., I believe. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I remember our schedule. I'll show up. Hey, we have a great guest today.
We do. Well, spring is here.
Yes, it is.
So we brought with us Richard Santoro. He's called the Bulb Guy. So, in fact, recently put in the Milpitas Post about his activities.
Well, yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and so I know there's been a lot of curiosity about what's up with Rich, and we're gonna find out a little bit more about what's going on with bulbs and some. I think he's got some secrets. I don't know if he's going to share about.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, Richard, I've actually known you a long time. Our daughters went to school together. So tell the folks a little bit about your family, your background, where you grew up, and what.
Well, originally from Hoboken, New Jersey, and we moved to Milpitas. I was 11 years old. I graduated Samuel High School, and then I went to San Jose City College. Got an accounting degree, drove for UPS for 13 years, and then sold some vitamins for 6 years, and now I'm selling concrete for the last 20 years for Central Concrete. And that's my background as far as that. As you all know, I've done a lot of things. Race walked, ran, piano, stand-up comedy, presently singing with a 20-piece big band, Millennium Sounds Orchestra, Swing Solution. So and then the bulb gardening started 30 years ago. Real quick story, my sister-in-law, Carmen, if I don't say her name, she'll shoot me. She was actually bulb gardening in front of her house. This is 30 years ago. And we were driving by, actually, to show her a new car we had bought. And I saw her, I said, Carmen, what are you doing? She says, and she comes in, she says, I'm bulb gardening. Oh, isn't that very hard, difficult, special fertilizers? Oh, yeah, very, very difficult. Come on, I'll show you how to do it. So I got out of the car and walked up there. She got a shovel and she dug a hole, got a bulb, threw it in there. Done. God, I can do this. This I can do. So some 35,000 bulbs later of dig hole, drop bulb in hole, water bulb, and this is where I'm at.
Oh, good. Well, see, you've had a varied sort of background, a lot of experiences, but you're really famous now for the bulbs.
No, nearly famous.
Nearly.
I got a button that says so. You gotta have a button.
But we've talked about you've been featured in the Milpitas Post. Talk to us a little bit about what what those articles have been about, and what's so intriguing about the bulb guy.
Well, what's intriguing? Well, I'm intriguing, of course. Of course, I'm intriguing. Let me clutch my leg. What's going up in the hills is what's the most intriguing thing right now. And long story short, had a little problem finding a place to put the bulbs, and I had somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 bulbs to put in. I can't tell you exactly because maybe next year we're going to have a little contest and raise some money for Parks and Recs. Put the bulbs up there in late December, and the problem was now the jury is still out. We put them in so late that the heat and the mushroom compost, which is free from Monterey mushroom, by the way. We brought up 48 yards, and really by pail how to bring it down there. The heat.
So you can see that from like Evans Road. I think I saw the boxes.
Oh yeah. There's 18 boxes. They're basically 7 foot by 8 foot.
So now this is the hillside at Whispering Hills Ranch, correct?
Right above it.
You're right at Evans and Calaveras as you head up the hill towards
exactly.
Levin Park.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is where
on your way home.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I think I waved at Todd several times. I think Todd was the guy. Debbie, you're gonna love this. There was a guy that drove up, and this is after the article came out, and people were yelling at me. What does it say? What does it mean? My kids, I can't sleep at night. They want to know what it said.
Right.
So one guy drove halfway up the hill. I think it was Todd, and he gets out of the car. He stops in the middle of Calaveras, and he's halfway out of his car. And he says, "I won't tell anybody."
Was that you, Todd?
That was Todd.
It wasn't me that time, but he won't tell me.
So as of right now, if it doesn't come into fruition, we're going to do it again next year. If it doesn't come into fruition, but the jury's still out.
Okay. So you've been featured in the Milpitas Post for this whatever this saying is that's supposed to come out. What was this last article last Friday about?
Oh, this is all about my Bulb Guy show. At my house, I have planted somewhere between close to 11,000 bulbs, and I have an open house, open garden. People come. give tours, explain the process, and there's a lot of funny stories in my, surprisingly, a lot of funny stories in my backyard, you know, and I dedicate a lot of portions of the backyard, beds, etc., to different people that have inspired me, helped me promote bulb. I'm all about promoting bulb gardening. I'm a nonprofit organization, believe me. Speaking of that, and I just, you know, it costs about maybe $1,000 a year to do what I do, which is, you know, a nice little hobby. It's
Nice little hobby.
It's not too bad. Not too bad. And so then people come. I encourage the kids. I encourage the kids. What really gets to me is really the seniors that come through, because I think the seniors they see and I don't call it work because it's my passion. I love doing it, but they see the effort, and maybe it's because of, you know, where they're at in their life. You know, they tear up. You know, and when I see that, then I guess it makes it all worth it.
Okay.
Oh, good. Well, you've got a couple other projects going on, too, other than being featured in the Milpitas Post with the project there on the Hill and your show. Why don't you talk to us about that as well? I see some things here on the table.
Well, yeah. This is interesting. This is my calendar, the Bulb Guy calendar.
Okay.
We had a 2014 Bulb Guy. There's going to be a 2015 in Barnes and Noble is going to, we're going to have a signing. We're going to have a signing where I show up and they're going to, you know, put me all over the place, and we'll sell Bulb Guy calendars. And I'll just very quickly just, you know, kind of give you an idea of some of the pictures in there.
So now you do that photography yourself?
I do the photography myself, all except for one picture, but they're just kind of give you an idea. And
And those are from the backyard?
They're all from the backyard. Yeah, that's the Drake's Daffodil Hill.
That's neat.
Yeah, so you kind of get an audit. I call this my Sunset Magazine picture. Wait, isn't that cute?
Yeah. Well,
speaking of sunset,
yeah.
gee whiz, what a segue! I'm in this month's Sunset Magazine. This is like every gardener's dream.
Terrific.
Is to be in Sunset Magazine. This is,
Wow, you are really famous.
This happened this week. And now I'm on your show. I mean,
Oh my gosh!
You never know where it's going to take
you
you.
never know where this is going to take you. Hey, Mom, look. You know.
That's great. So what month is this?
This
So
is
folks
April.
can run out there and get that April. Okay.
What they did is they put me at the top. There's what's it called, a checklist, and I'm at the top of the list.
Okay.
So I'm like the show to go and see in the month of April.
Oh, terrific.
Last month I think it was the San Francisco Flower Show. This month it's the Bulb Guy Show.
Okay, so
Yes, sorry.
let me ask this. I've got a list of few
you got it.
questions
Sure.
that I've been just on my mind here. So special talents. You talked about your whoever that was, your sister-in-law or something, where she just died.
No.
What else do you need to know and do? What would the average person need to know in order to be able to grow the bulb?
It's just the time you put them in, which is somewhere around, you know, say the month of November. Bulb gardening is simple. I got it down to it's a 5-step program. It's on the side of my car.
Okay.
With a magnet.
Okay.
the bulbmobile. But it's really dig hole for the bulb, you know, drop the bulb in a hole, water, you know, kick the dirt over the bulb, water the bulb, step away from the bulb. A lot of people, they get too fussy, you know. They get too fussy. And that's when they, you know, disturb stuff, and they're poking around, and just put it in the ground and step away from the bulb.
Now, does it take special preparation of the soil, or is it?
Well, I've grown them in. I've grown them in. People say you can't grow anything in Milpitas soil. My mom had a bulb, bulb garden. Oh, beautiful. I can pictures of her in front of her. You know, they do really, really well in Milpitas soil. Mushroom compost, regular.
Do you need to take them out every year once they've bloomed?
Excellent question. Excellent. California does not do well with bulbs the following year because we don't have a chill factor. They just don't get cold enough. So what I do is I got 15 beds that I take them out of the beds. I reuse those bulbs next year. I put them in the boxes. I put them in my house in a cool spot from, I guess it's like late June until November. I put those in pots in peripheral areas. Excuse me. And then I replant the beds with fresh bulbs because I want to have 100% participation because I have this like little show, so I replant all those beds.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now you're known as the Bulb Guy. Is there some story behind how you got that name?
Yeah, Holly Hayes, the late Holly Hayes. She was a Mercury News. She's a master gardener. She was a Mercury News columnist. Long story short, she had an article in the paper. This is 2008. If you have a project and you have pictures of your project from beginning to end, send them in. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that I converted I've been doing this since 1985, but in 2008 I decided I'm going to go full bulbs, full blown bulbs, and have I had 13 beds at the time, and I took pictures. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the pictures, and I had everything just everything that she needed I had. And so when she saw the pictures, she wrote an article called "The Bulb Guy." She gave me the name, "The Bulb Guy." And
She coined it.
She coined "The Bulb Guy," and ever since, my life has not been the same.
I love the name. I really, and it fits you. I've known your personality a long time, and it certainly fits you.
Thank
So, Rich, what are some of your favorite ones? Favorite colors, favorite
well,
bulbs?
there is one bulb. It's a Conrad. There's a bulb in my. It's got to be the. He has his own webpage on my website. It's Conrad, and this bulb kind of broke through the mesh. I put the 6 inches of pea gravel, black mesh, and this bulb broke through this, and somehow broke it. And to make a long story short, there is a Conrad, a little boy named Conrad. He's 12 years old now, and he kind of discovered it, and that's my favorite bulb. It's yellow. It's blooming today. Right now, it just kind of opened up for this year. So this is like, what, 6 years, I guess it's done its thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, what sort of varieties then are part of the bulb family?
Oh yeah. Well, you get your traditional daffodils and your tulips, and then you go into there's snowdrops, ranunculus, freesias, anemones. I'm going around the yard here. There's actually about a dozen. There's a dozen spring bulbs. So anything that blooms basically in March and April, I want to know what it is. And some people come and they'll bring stuff to me.
And those varieties are indicative to our climate here.
Yeah,
They do well here.
They will do okay. And I use all Costco, and it's kind of interesting. I use Costco bulbs, and people when they see the bulbs and they see how they perform, for some reason they just don't put Costco and bulbs together.
Right.
They're not garden people, but that's what I use.
Well, I guess you need them in bulk. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Todd? Funny you mention, because they make it affordable to do what I do. Otherwise, I couldn't do what I do. Because you go to a garden store, $1 a bulb. Well, 10,000 bulbs. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah. That's one of the things I do is math. So that does add up pretty quickly. So now, if you were to encourage someone to start, and to take this on as a hobby, what are some tips that you might give them?
Yeah, the fun thing to do is instead of I know a lot of people don't want to buy 50 bulbs in a bag, and that limits the selection. So go to Orchard Supply or Home Depot, and they sell them like one at a time. They can say you take maybe 5 of this, 5 of this, 5 of that. Stick them in the ground the first year. You see how they do. Pick a spot, and you'll see how they do. And then you start getting creative. It's a process. I mean, it took me. I mean, I would say 25 years to really understand. Foliage and heights, and when they do what they do, and when they do what they don't do, and
So now, do you keep notes of your garden, or or is this just?
I do.
Okay.
It's scientific stuff.
Yeah. When I put them in, what I put in, where I put them in, why I put them in.
Well, good.
That's neat. So, generally, what would be some of the challenges that you'd face?
Well, you got animals and wives. No.
Not in that order.
No. The animals. I'm sorry. You got squirrels and you got gophers. And what I do is I put like a little plastic mesh on the top, and they literally go up to the plastic mesh, and it deters them.
Okay.
And they go away. It's the greatest investment ever. And people are, they take my bulb.
How about we're in a severe drought situation? So how does that?
They don't require much water, thank God.
Okay.
The bulbs don't require that much water.
Really?
Kind of like a soaking, maybe every 4 days, and
wow.
It's not like you gotta water them every day.
I didn't know that.
Otherwise, you'll rot them if you overwater. It goes the other way around.
Oh, okay. Good. So anyway, we've talked about the big project on the hill there at Whispering Hills. What about the future? I mean, you've talked about maybe you're coming back next year, or what are some of the things that you hope to do?
There's a couple of things going on, and I don't know if I'm privy to even say this, but I'm talking with Baffanti Gardens, and we might be able to be a little small bulb guy garden in Baffanti Gardens. There's a park in San Jose that they're just building, and then we might, we're working something together there. So there's a couple of things outside the garden that I'm, and I would, if God bless me with the health. So far He has, the hill's at 30-degree angle, by the way, and it's a tough tough getting them up there, but if He gives me the health, I'd love to do that every year. Once I find out this was a trial this year, and and maybe we get them in the right month next year, they'll really perform.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I imagine the word's getting out. So, let's let folks know, where can they visit, a website.
The-bulbguide.com is the website. And there's my email is there, and you go there if you want to ask me questions about bulb gardening or in life in general.
And you said tours of your home?
Yeah, I have a tour from this Saturday, March 29th through April 6th, 12 to 5, every day, 9 days in a row, Saturday till the next Sunday. I'll be back there wearing my cape.
Okay.
Want to see my cape?
Yes, I'd love to.
Well, speaking of capes, let me show you what I've done. I promote bulb gardening. That's what I do. So you got to start small. So what I've done, anybody brings a little granddaughter or a grandson, I got a little cape, and take pictures. I got a little picture place over there. And then I got my little. Then you get bigger. You got the bulb kid. You got and I think it's got a little. What does it say? It says promoting future bulb gardener. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And what do you got here? Oh, the bulb kid. It says the bulb kid. Okay. I wrote these things and I can't remember. And of course, the daddy of all capes, the bulb guy cape, the big old bulb guy cape. They're right there. And what's funny about this? And I have my bulb guy creed. I have a creed over here. Monica Sanchez did this for me.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. Dig hole for a bulb. Drop bulb in hole, water bulb in hole, or cover bulb with dirt, and then step away from the bulb.
That's the 5-step approach.
The 5-step program.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
You've heard of the 12-step program, and of course, for the line dancers, they have the 2-step program.
Well,
That's
Rich,
great.
it's been absolutely a delight having you on the show.
Thank you.
Maybe afterwards, we can, Deb and I can get you to tell us what it actually says up there on the side of the hill.
No, Todd.
Darn.
No.
Not going to have it. I can keep a secret. I can.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And along with, we'll have a DVD of the show that I'll get to, but we do have a T-shirt for you.
Oh, my gosh.
When you're bulb gardening, maybe you can wear that into your cape.
I think
It's Valley Homes on TV, Milpitas edition.
I would
shirt.
wear that proudly. That
There
is
you
so
go.
cool.
That's
Thank
for you. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time. And
Thank
this has
you.
been very entertaining, very fun. This is great.
Had a ball. Thank you very
It's
much.
been great having you on, and we'll watch the hillside to see what comes up.
Yeah. Amen.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Right.
Terrific.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back to Valley Homes on TV. You're watching us on channel 36. I'm Debbie Giordano, along with Todd Flesner, our local mortgage broker.
Hey, Deb, it's good to be here. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the local market. Keep people up to date with what's happening. Real estate, loans, mortgages, life in general.
Life in general in the real estate business. Well, first thing is, I love to show what's been happening in the San Jose Mercury. And this is totally true. Home supply dries up, and what that means is we have a very low inventory supply of homes and a huge demand of buyers, and that's predicated with the open houses that I'm doing. I'm seeing just weekend before last, I had 100 buyers through a 2-day open house, which was just unbelievable. Probably one of the largest ones I've had in a long time.
That's a lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic flow.
That's right. Well, I know that with the folks that I'm working with who are looking for financing and hoping to buy a home, that they're out and they're competing against one another and the all-cash offers that are in the market, and they're just there aren't enough homes for all the folks who would like to get into a home these days. And
Right.
So the competition is stiff.
Right. So let's go right into some numbers
Okay.
that that is a segue. And then I want to talk specifically to sellers about two areas. One, the staging of your home. They call them the 5Ds. And how do you look for a listing agent? So let's look at what's the local market been doing. January 2013, we saw the average single-family home price in Milpitas at $586,000, and the median price at $524,000. That's risen to in January 2014 to $688,000 for an average price and $635 for a median price. We've noticed that number's kind of fluctuated a little bit. We were up in the 700s.
Right.
So I think it's with the low supply, the numbers kind of get tweaked a little bit.
Right. Yeah, with the relatively few sales, if you have one or two that are, a little bit higher value,
That's going to tweak the numbers. But
Right.
Generally, we can look at, I would say as a thumbprint, about $100,000 increase in the market over the course of a year in single-family homes. Now, this condo market, in January 2013, we saw the average price at $401,000, median price at $408,000, and that has jumped to, in January 2013, to $501,000 for an average price and $535,000 for a median price. There we see about another $100,000 increase. So.
Yeah, just a question. I know we have a lot of new development, a lot of new condos
Right.
coming on the market here in Milpitas. Is that reflective of the new inventory that's coming to the market, or is that just existing condo sales?
No, that's just existing home sales
Okay.
and market, and that's
So-
not the new.
So it's
new
not the
homes.
brand new
No.
homes that have been built.
And I think if you go out and you look at the new homes and their pricing, they're considerably higher than even the average numbers are here. So.
Okay, good. Just that point of clarification for folks.
Okay, so
So
let me
staging.
talk staging and looking for an agent, and then I want to hear what the interest rates are doing. So 5Ds for staging your home for sale. Here you go. The first thing is deep clean. That's a common denominator. Make sure the property's fully deep clean. Second thing is delete, meaning to delete any extra things you don't need, like family pictures, knickknacks, anything that would make the home very cluttered, and declutter the property. Maybe rooms that have furniture, if it's too full, you want to delete some of the furniture, so open up
So
the
less
rooms.
is more.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Detach, that means, what are they talking about here?
Is that psychologically getting ready to sell? Is that?
I think so. The owner has to detach themselves from the personalization of the property and also depersonalize. So that's one and the same. So those are those are called the 5Ds on getting your home ready to put on the market. And then how do you pick a listing agent? The question is, I'm planning to put my home up for sale. Wondering, how do I shop for a listing agent on a rate standard, or do they differ among agencies? And yes, I think what you want to do, according to this article in the San Jose Mercury, is you look for an agent that has a localized commodity, and they also have search engines that are worldwide. So local serviceability, local market knowledge, but they expand their search globally. And you want to find a broker who's sold lots of homes where you live. They usually use about a 14-mile radius from where you are. You can also visit local open houses, and then you can meet agents and find out if there's a connection and if there's a good level of confidence in selecting that agent.
You get to actually see a realtor at work in their environment.
Absolutely.
In that way.
Absolutely. That's a very, very good way. And lastly, make sure that they have a strong understanding of financing. And that's where you come in. We have a great relationship, I know, that we've built over the years. And
Absolutely.
That's key.
Well, yeah, and that's a big part of purchasing a home, is making sure that all the dollars and cents add up. And particularly as we talked about the inventory right now and the demand, having your financing in place, upfront, solid, pre-approved is important, particularly if you're competing against an all-cash offer.
Right.
The seller is going to look for the most certain package that's going to close. And that financing and making sure that is together and solid is a piece of that.
I think that's great advice. So where are interest rates today, and where do you see them heading?
Well, kind of in the interest rate environment, the Federal Reserve Board is a piece of our world. And we have a new Federal Reserve Chair, Janet Yellen, who's been in place now in office here, just confirmed a couple of months ago. And she's learning as she's on the job here. Alan Greenspan, who was the Fed chief for chair for years and years and years, used to be famous for Fed speak. You know, he'd say, you know, things are great on this hand, but on the other hand, you know, maybe not so. And you never really could quite interpret what he was saying, or you can read a lot of things into that. Janet Yellen is a little bit more direct in her style right now, and you know, she's indicated the Fed is likely to tighten monetary policy going forward, which means that they're looking seriously now at the timing of when they'll begin to raise interest rates.
Okay, and we talked about that earlier, or latter part of last year, about a possible rise of interest rates toward the end of this year.
That's correct, and so, and you know, technically, what the Fed will do is they will raise the Fed funds rates, which will then, you know, expand into other areas, the prime rate, and ultimately you'll see that in 30-year fixed rates as well.
Folks that own homes that are considering refinancing, what is a benchmark you let them know on that? What should they or should they not refinance?
Well, you know, everybody's situation, of course, is different, but rates are still absolutely phenomenal. We're in about the mid-4s. We bounce around a little bit on a day-to-day basis, and dependent upon the loan amount and loan to value and other factors that go with that. Credit score also impacts the actual rate that you'll pay. For some folks who may have bought back in the 2006, 2007 sort of period.
I was one. Didn't.
The good news is, as we saw with the stats here, with
they're not
sales
underwater
prices,
anymore.
They're not underwater, and so I'm now talking with a lot of folks who can take advantage of these lower rates, because rates back at that point in time were in the 5s and 6s.
Correct.
And
correct.
so we're a percent or two lower right now.
Correct.
I'm also working with a lot of
Good.
people who are consolidating first and second loans.
So some good advice to folks might be, if they couldn't refinance maybe a few years ago due to low values or other issues, they need to revisit that option again, and could call you for that.
Absolutely, I'd be delighted to chat with folks and take a look at what the options are.
Let's do that now. Give them your.
Yeah, give me a buzz. My phone number 408-921-0669. And we'll have Ellerin put my email up on the screen as well.
Perfect. And if you have any questions for the show, or any other questions you have regarding the real estate business, call me at 408-945-8988, and we'll put the answer here on the show for you.
Terrific.
So, well, I guess
That wraps it up for another month.
it does. This is, and then we'll see you again in a few weeks, and we've got a couple more guests coming up. Let's see, we've got, I think we have.
Well, we're going to take our cue from Joe, the bulb guy, who we've had on here recently as a guest, and we're going to keep it a surprise.
We'll keep it a surprise, so stay tuned. We don't even know who it is, but we know they're out there somewhere. So thank you very much for tuning into Valley Homes on TV. We appreciate you watching. Thank you.